Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Backpack Trader Training Room for Thursday, November 16th, 2023. Please note the required risk disclosure. This room is for educational and information purposes only. It is not to be considered individual financial advice. Trading of this type carries substantial risks and should only be attempted with funds that you can afford to do without. All right, done with that for today. Big move in crude. This trade went just a little too far, got to money management, so that was a no trade. Then we picked up the short. Two targets, 23 and 36 ticks. 59 ticks for the trade by the straight trade plan. It's still trailing. That would have been one to have a trailer on. Trailing now at 74.93. The entry was at 76.08. So we've got 115 ticks already on the, and there's some more, 91. 117 ticks on the trailer. Market is open. That's a maybe. We had a chance to get in sync with that one, or to get into that for the YM. Soybeans hit money management, so that's a no trade. We're waiting for a new trade. There it is, short trade on soybeans, 73.5. Pound Aussie almost hitting money management on the long trade, and a short trade on the micro Russell. I'd have to check the timing on that wick, but that probably is a no trade on the micro Russell. Unleaded gas. Target 1 for 51 ticks, target 2 for 78 ticks, and that is still trailing at 213 from the entry at 473. That is already 260, 207, 266 ticks so far on the trailer. It's almost $1,000 trailer. In fact, that is $1,000. It's an over $1,000 trailer on a single contract. Long trade on micro Russell. Yeah, 10-second entry bar, so it should have been in that, and that goes for a break even. So that's our first trade of the morning. Soybeans is short. The YM came back, definitely triggered in, so the YM is long. right. Unleaded and crude still trailing. YM has, did it hit target 1? 020. And we got to 2-1. So yes, the YM winning long trade, stop at 993. That'll be a one and done on the YM. Short trade on the Micro Russell. All right, we got to target 1. We needed one more tick for money management. There it is. So that will be at least a break even. Unleaded stopping out. Crude and unleaded are trading on the January contract today. Volume has transitioned on both of those. Target 2 on the Micro Russell. So now, since we have there, we'll bring up the micro in queue, and we just got to our session start time just a couple of minutes ago. So we're in that winning trade on the Micro Russell. Target 3 at 1798 flat. 1798.0. Soybeans hitting its first target in money management on the short side. 8 tick target. Stop will come to 73.25. YM stopping out at 998. So it is done for the morning. That was a 34 tick target 1. So the YM and soybeans YM is one and done. Soybeans will be one and done when this trade completes. Micro Russell 99.6 for the trailer, hitting target 4. Pound Aussie still in the long trade. Crude and unleaded both out of their strong down moves. Both of those were over $1,000 just on the trailer for a single contract. Unfortunately, our crude trade plan doesn't include the trailer at the moment. We don't get this kind of trailers often enough to make it profitable to run the trailer all the time. And the Russell stopping out at 99.6 and now going long. Just below the 50 EMA. I might take that to 011. Although that's a pretty big move. Pretty big adjustment. That's a 4 tick adjustment. YM working in the space between its session low and its session open. Not a lot of space there. 946 for the low to 025 for the high, or for the session open rather. Session high, let's see where that is. 077. So not a huge range this morning, a little over 100 points. And a full loss on the micro Russell. Short setup now. It has not triggered. Please do say hello in the chat. Good morning, Krista. Target 2 and target 3 on soybeans. Hit target 3 right on the nose. Good morning, Robert. And the short on the micro Russell triggers in. Long trade on the micro NQ. And that's a big one. Target 1 is 31.5 points. So I will take profit at target 1 on this big of a trade. And a risk on this trade is 25.5 points. Soybeans trailing stop 72.5. And we have a stop and reverse on pound Aussie at make it 39. It would be 41 with the stop and reverse adjustment. Key level would bring it to 39. 139. So there is our stop and reverse. Unadjusted has triggered in. And the micro Russell short making money management. Stop comes to 97.7. $72 flat for the soybeans trailing stop. And target 3 on micro Russell. Trying to set a new session low. Soybeans is setting session lows. YM is pushing higher. That's interesting. Crude worked its way up to the 50 EMA and now seems to be heading back down again. Given the length of the down move, that is just a reaction move. So this may be a subsequent action. We will watch it. We're not participating in this one, obviously, since we were one and done on the 9 a.m. mini session. The micro NQ long trade is progressing. 71 1/4 for soybeans on the trailing stop. Let's see, did we get to our... And we stopped and reversed to short on the pound Aussie. And we stop out. We just started trailing on the micro Russell and stopped out, so we got a couple of ticks on the trailer along with target 3. And we now have a long trade. Loss, win. So yeah, win there, loss, second win. So this is trade number 4. And trade number 5, because we had a break even here. And that was a no trade. Trade number 5. Break even, win, loss, win. And the YM setting new session highs up to 35.080. And we're about 13 minutes away from our 10 a.m. crude session. I'll bring my markers down so we see that one a little better. Short on the pound Aussie, long on the micro Russell, and the micro Russell just got another break even. Just stopped out at break even. Soybeans 70 3/4 on the trailer. Micro NQ needing to push through the 200 EMA. Set new session highs earlier. That was before. That was right at about 8:45 this morning, Eastern time. 7:45 exchange time. Before making that down move that got us the win. And now we see a little bit of a down on both micro Russell. Micro Russell with a short trade triggered in, looks like, now pulling back. This is the final trade of the day on the micro Russell. 1 loss, 2 wins, 1 break even, or 2 break evens for the 5 trades so far. And micro NQ moving through the 200 EMA, coming back again, tested again. $69 3/4 for the soybean stop. And stopping out with a full loss on the micro Russell to close out the session. 2 wins, 2 losses, 2 break-evens. Probably pretty close to a break-even session. Looks like crude may be going into a bit of consolidation here. After that monster move. Micro Russell setting new session lows. Micro Russell at session lows, the YM at session highs, and the micro NQ approaching session high. So a bit of divergence in the indices this morning. Soybeans trailing stop down to 66 1/4. Let's see what our 8, 13, and 18 ticks on the targets. 21, 30, 39 ticks on the targets, and we're now at 66 1/4 from the entry at 73 1/2. So 7 1/4 points, 29 ticks. So far on the trailer. Micro NQ trying to push up to that session high. Getting closer. It looks like, yeah, still no change in the soybeans. Now looks like we'll come down to 65 1/2 at the close of this bar. Yeah, because 64 1/4 will be where it closes. So we'll definitely come down to 65 1/2. Micro NQ setting a new session high and target 1. That is an actionable target with that size trade. And our stop comes to 8.53 3/4. So that is a win on trade number one. Slow mover, but getting it done. Target 2 on the micro NQ is at 907 flat. So we got a little ways to go yet. Needs a little just under 10 points. We got 897 and a quarter. $365 flat. 65 flat for the soybeans trailing stop. Micro Russell continues to set session lows. Micro NQ and the YM setting new session highs. And under 3 minutes to the crude 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. mini session. $64 flat for the soybean stop. This is a morning of runners on the trailer. And a new stop and reverse on the pound Aussie. That's going to be 91.56. $52 plus 2 pips for the stop and reverse adjust puts us 54, and we certainly are not going to put a stop 1 pip below a minor key level at 55, so we'll go to 56. Soybeans again setting new session lows. Actually, that because of our stop and reverse adjustment, that's where our money management is, and we trigger unadjusted, but we have not gotten to the adjusted. And there it is. There is our stop and reverse back to long again. Tough morning. on the pound Aussie. And again, we're going to move it to the target, because target 1 is only going to be 12 ticks. $61.75 for the soybean stop. Monster move on that this morning. Got what, 17 almost 17 points. 16 points is the maximum excursion so far. $73.50 down to $57.25. 16.25 points. And our stop sitting at 61.25. So 12.25 points on for our trailer already. Waiting for a new trade on on the crude chart. We are in our 10 a.m. session, mini session. $60.25. 59.75 soybeans trailing stop. Still trailing on the crude oil chart, but that trade was 12 minutes too early. And we got the unadjusted money management on the pound Aussie, but we need to get all the way to target with the adjustment for the stop and reverse plus the key level. 12 pip minimum is target 1. $14.75 points for the trailer, and there is target 1 on the pound Aussie. Stop will come to 57. As a consequence of our adjustments, and the crude oil trade just stopped out, so looking for a new setup there. If we get an up bar above the balance line, we could get a long trade. That looks like it might be a reaction trade, but it is slowing. There it is. Momentum is slowing down, but that's a valid trade. And reacting down again. That was exactly what I was afraid of. But looks like we may be getting a blue trade as well. The trade off the 20 SMA. If this bar closes down, we will get a setup. Currently 64 would be the setup. Okay, it's went higher. So now still 64. Another tick higher will take it to 67. And we get an up bar. But it did stop out the long trade. I actually did wait on that one, just because of the way it looked, and when it went, there's our blue trade at 69 now. Well, let's see, is that, yeah, that's at 69. Kind of like that trade, actually. Although we are definitely seeing a slowdown in the momentum. Oh, and now now a long setup. At 91. Oh no, it didn't set up on the, almost did. Oh, it did not get down to the stop on the long trade. Stop is at 69. and then went back up, so you definitely would be in that long trade. So the short would be a stop and reverse at 67. Pound Aussie getting target 2 now, setting a new session high. Stop hasn't moved, still at 57. Soybeans stopping out at 59 1/4, getting 14 1/4 points on the trailer. $57 ticks to go along with the 39 ticks for targets. $96 ticks for the 4-position soybeans trade. 24 points. At $50 a point, that's a $1,200 trade for one single contract position. So four contracts for that trade overall. Now the stop moves up to 62 on the Pound Aussie, trying to reach for target 3. And we stop and reverse on the micro NQ. 74.5 for the entry. We've got the 200 EMA just below that. I would have adjusted that. The 200 EMA was at 73.95. I said what, 74.50? Yeah, I'd take that down to at least 73.50. And we still would have triggered in. That's a normal size trade. And crude taking the full stop out on that long trade. Ultimately, the stop and reverse canceled. So, lots going on. And a long trade, another long trade on crude. That triggers in. It's going to have to work up through the 50 EMA. 73.86. Target 3 on the pound Aussie, so we have had a 4 pip adjustment, so we have 12, 22, and 31 pips on the targets achieved so far. $34 and 36, 65 pips. And we still have target 4 and the trailer working. Money management on the micro NQ. Move the stop down to $73.25. Since we did the stop in reverse. So that's going to be at least a break even for trade number 2. Working on the 50 EMA on the crude chart. Soybeans is done, the YM is done. Pound Aussie continuing to set session highs. 89.4, 189.4. Looks like we'll go to 168 or 169 for the trailer on the close of this bar. 169 it looks like it's going to be. There it is. Alright, no change in the pound Aussie trailing stop. We got as high as 193.1 for a new session high there. Still long on the crude chart, 10 a.m. mini session. We took a 36 tick loss on the first trade. This one, target 1 of 18, target 2 of 29. So if we can get both targets, that will put us to power of quitting. $47 ticks on for those two targets. Let's see, did we get target 2 on the micro NQ? Looks like we might very well have. Target 2 was 846 flat, and we got 45.5. So yes, that is a winner. So that's a second winner this morning. Good morning, Michael. That's okay. That's the micro NQ. That is a custom. If you're on TradeStation, that would be a custom Renko bar, 12-point brick, 3-point offset. If you're on NinjaTrader, it's going to be a 48 tick brick with a 12 tick offset. Okay, yeah, I'm using Unirenko, 12 tick trend, 36 tick open offset, and an 84 tick reversal. But it's the 48 point brick with a 12 tick offset. That's seeming to be a little slow, but the 6.2 is a little bit too, or yeah, the 6.2 that we originally started with was a little bit slow. Or a little bit too fast. And we go long on the micro NQ. Stopped out at the yes, that's Catapult. I'm actually running the Catapult NQ. You can see Catapult Calc NQ. I haven't switched that one over to the Extreme, but doesn't matter. They're the same. It's just the NQ is limited. Catapult Calc NQ is limited to the NQ market, and the Catapult Extreme is not market limited. It's the same calculator essentially, just without the market limit. This is the 6-point or 24 tick brick, 24 tick brick, or 8 tick offset, or trend, 8 tick trend, 16 tick open offset, 40 tick reversal. But that's a 24 tick brick with an 8 tick offset. It looks like that might be, NQ may have slowed down enough that might be a reasonable possibility. But this of course is a micro NQ, but NQ would be very, very similar. All right, crude getting both targets. So that is a POQ session for the 10 a.m. mini session. It just took a little while. So we've got 2 winners in hand on the micro NQ. And in the third trade, micro Russell is done. And we stop out at 69 and we transition back to short on the pound Aussie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be the last trade of the day on the pound Aussie. It's been a rough morning. Trade number 5 was the first trade that we were actually able to get the targets on. Everything else was either a full stop out or a stop and reverse. Actually, we've had, you know, 1, 2, we had 2 stop and reverses before getting the win. And then the initial trade was a stop and reverse out of the short into the long that ended up being a full stop out. I personally don't trade the NQ. This is just what I use in the room for example. But it depends on your capitalization. A brick this large on the NQ is a pretty big trade. You know, at $20 a point when you're talking about a 12-point brick, and you got. Let's see, a normal trade is 15.5 point risk. So if you're running all 4 positions as this trade plan is, that's a 62 point risk times $20. So you're talking about a, you know, what, $1,240 risk. So if that's 2% of your account, that's going to be a pretty big account. I really haven't looked at the NQ enough on Spotlight to really have an opinion on how it trades on Spotlight. I've been working with the NQ on Catapult quite a bit more here in the room. It's a mixed bag. It can be a really good market. It can be a really tough market because it can get into really noisy periods. But it's amazing how big you certainly could test smaller bar sizes, but as fast as it can move, the smaller bar sizes can get to be too fast to trade very quickly. We typically try to stay in the, you know, quarter to a third offset, which that's really what determines the speed of the chart. is how big your offset is. And there are times that even with the 12.3, I can't even get into trades. It'll trade that fast. That's why we typically wait for. That's why our trade plan that I use in here is wait 4 minutes after market open. All right, hitting target 1, so our stop comes to 74 3/4. This pullback was before we hit the money management level, so we are actually at that stop level and still long. That's where you have to balance working with the micro versus the full contract. Depending on your account size, the micro could be a better vehicle. But if you've got a $25,000 account, then yeah, the full contract is certainly a viable option. Actually, let's see. No, it'd take more than that. 1% would be 620. So it's going to be 60. Yeah, you're gonna have to have a $62,000 account to trade four contracts of the full NQ with staying within a 2% risk parameter. And that's why I was mentioning we were initially looking at the 6.2, 6-point bar, 2-point offset, and that, or 6-point brick, 2-point offset, and that the reason we started looking at the 12.3 was that the 6.2 was just too fast to deal with. And those are things you got to look at your account size. You got to look at how fast it trades and see what's best for you, what you're most comfortable with, what you're most comfortable with, what you can execute. And we do stop out for a break even, and we transition to short on the micro NQ. We take profit at targets 2, 3, and 4 and the trailer. I think the 6.2 is on the NQ Catapult NQ site, and all we did for this 12.3, and you want to test it. We haven't fully tested the 12.3, and as I say, I see good days and bad days with it. And I'm using the 12.3 as one of the major reasons we're looking at the micro for that. As you can run 4 micros with about a $6,000 account rather than or $6,500 account rather than a $65,000 account. because instead of your risk being $1,200, it's $120. We take 4 wins or 3 losses and up to 6 trades. 4 wins and positive, or 3 losses and stop, period. But if you've gotten 4 wins and 6 trades, you're going to be positive. Trade assist would certainly be more likely to get you in, but then the question becomes, if it's moving that fast, what kind of slippage are you getting? The trade assist is not going. I don't believe the trade assist can use stop limit orders. I think it's going to use stop market orders. So that's going to be the other side of that question. Good questions, though, Michael. And target 1 in money management. So looks like 562.25 for the stop, trailing stop. Pound Aussie bouncing off the 20 SMA. Any other questions, folks? I'm going to have to call it a morning here, because I've got another someplace else to be at 11. Troy's CEO Trader Mastermind Group training at 11 o'clock this morning. So unless there are other questions, there's target 2. So that is another win. 2 wins, 1 break even. You're quite welcome, Krista. We'll see you very soon. And Michael, Robert, you're all most welcome. Everybody have a good one. Well, reminder, this is the last session until Wednesday after Thanksgiving. I'm going to be traveling through the Tuesday after Thanksgiving. Might not be in even Wednesday. I don't get in till like 11 o'clock Tuesday evening, so it's possible I may or may not be in Wednesday, but I'm going to go ahead and schedule it at this point. Regular 9:30 session Wednesday the 29th. Crude oil inventory session 10:30 Wednesday the 29th. But no trade rooms next week. Next week and Tuesday the 28th will be dark. Everybody have a good one, and we will see you after Thanksgiving. Have a wonderful holiday.